Welcome to Cover Art Fail! Tonight's episode in Fail? Strider.
You know one of the things I hate? Wars. Especially pointless wars. That is unless they have the word stars in front of them. And what could be more pointless than the console wars? The iteration that I recall the most happened during my adolescence. The great Nintendo vs. Sega wars. As a kid who screamed to your parent for the sweet release of video games, you had to make one choice, and one choice alone. Either Sega or Nintendo. Unless you were that rich kid who had both consoles, all the handhelds, and a trampoline. In that case, stop watching this video, Tyler. And there were compelling cases for both sides, but generally it was on a case-by-case basis. Some games for the Sega had better graphics, but major sound and music limitations, and Nintendo titles usually had stronger sound effects and gameplay but limited by their graphics. And these differences were most glaring when a game came out for both consoles. In this case, we'll focus on a game called Strider. My household fell in the Nintendo camp, and so I played the NES version of Strider. I saw the cover art and was mildly intrigued by it. Futuristic swordplay against futuristic commies. When I got it home to play it, it was mediocre at best. The music was pretty kick-ass, but the gameplay was pretty suspect along with the English translations in the game. Luckily, I had a friend behind enemy lines in the Sega Coalition. I ran to his house to play Strider for the Mega Drive. And holy hell, what a difference.
Genesis Dutch.
16-bit arcade graphics.
You can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis Dutch.
Clearly this was a Sega victory. Being who I am, I asked my friend to show me the cover of the Sega version just for pure compare and contrast purposes. However, he had rented it from Blockbuster Video. You might remember them as a provider of arms to both sides of the war until an unholy alliance of GameFly and Netflix made them irrelevant. And they gave you a generic box for rental, so there was no compare and contrast to be made. I sought out the actual box and was clearly stunned by my findings. What the crap? While I admit this isn't the most clear of cover art fails, it is indeed a fail, and a gut-wrenching fail at that. Let me explain. The character in Strider is pretty well known nowadays and has become a favorite amongst retro gamers and cosplayers. But in the late 80s he was completely unknown. The game portrayed him as a futuristic ninja assassin facing off against despots and dictators in a dystopic future. The ninja's name was Hiryu, Strider being his title, meaning ninja assassin. He's clearly of Japanese origin, complete with spiky hair and the Japanese symbol on his outfit that translates to Flying Dragon, or Hiryu. So let me do a quick dissolve here and we can look at the Mega Drive cover. Real easy question here. Does this look anything like the ninja I just described? It doesn't, does it? Well, now you know why it's a failure. What you see before you is a platinum blonde pretender. Oh sure, he's got the futuristic jumpsuit, the sword waving in a cheap artistic way, and he's clearly fighting ugly guys from the motherland. But that's not Strider Hiryu. The American side of Capcom decided to limit Strider's Japanese appearance as much as possible. It was common back in the day for games coming out of Japan to look completely different from the source material, even down to changing ethnicities. And Strider is the absolute poster child for this. He has been involved in some of the worst cover arts imaginable due to an odd form of forced assimilation. Don't believe me? Well, you're in for a treat, because this is a very special episode. The first ever
Cover Art Fail!
in-show compilation. The NES cover art is alright in retrospect. At least it kinda looks like the character. And it's cool in the sense of the action it's portraying. The Mega Drive cover is clearly worse with the character looking vaguely like Peter Sarsgaard. But the best, or worst, is really bad. And quite frankly, I don't think you can handle it. Your sanity might very well be in the balance once you witness this. Just to know, you've been warned. My eyes! Oh, my eyes! Ah, God. This is an absolute travesty! This is the European cover art for Strider, and what the hell am I looking at here? Flash Gordon's interior decorator? Why does he have a mullet? Why does he have metallic gold pants? Why does he have a half-ass Screw Attack logo on his very tight shirt? Why does he look like he went through 5 bottles of bronzer? Why? The background is shit too. Oh yeah, Rush is back there. Throw us a bone with that one, but I don't remember the level where you ride a Triceratops and fight off a red T-Rex. This cover is an absolute disaster, and it stuns me to this day that the people of the European continent, or even Japan, didn't see this cover, rise up as one, and storm the Capcom offices. Or more appropriately, the US Gold offices. Capcom outsourced this one, and this was the result. I can't imagine European gamers playing this game with a positive attitude based on this cover, especially when they realize what Strider Hiryu is supposed to look like. But, maybe I'm overreacting. I mean, every game is entitled to 1 or 2 bad cover arts, right? Maybe this game was a product of the times, and Capcom and US Gold thought it would respond well. When they realized how dumb it looked, they fixed it. It happened with Mega Man, so it could happen with Strider, right? It's not like US Gold produced another Strider for Europe with the same cover model. Oh my god, they did! And it's even worse than the other one! A ponytail? A gun? Ah! Okay, I've lost complete control of this show. I gotta bring it back to point. Now you know that video game covers weren't too kind to Strider in the early days. The main instigator for garbage covers was US Gold. They ended up porting their sequel Strider 2 to North America with, let's say, slightly upgraded cover art. I think by this point they realized their flexing, ponytailed golden god wasn't going to make it and they reverted back to Capcom's initial mistake. Strider has since been given much better cover production due to his cult status and has been all for the better. Man, it's hard to believe this episode began with a simple compare and contrast of Nintendo and Sega. I mean, they even ported this Strider cover for the Mega Drive to the Sega Master System. I mean, really, the Master System? It's not like the Master System already had a history of hilariously bad cover arts. Huh? Oh, they did? Oh.